influenza, dengue fever and AIDS. Okay, so some virus affected disease, the disease occurs due to the viruses. Sir, একবার বোর্ডটা একবার দেখান না, বোর্ডটা একবার দেখান। Okay, that is common cold, influenza, dengue and AIDS. Okay, so these are the example of some virus affected disease. These diseases are caused due to the viruses, that is common cold, influenza, dengue and AIDS. You know that is influenza virus, dengue, that is due to the Aedes mosquitoes, that is caused by some viruses, and AIDS, HIV viruses. Okay, there is some viruses are present, so that's why this disease occurs. Next, disease like typhoid fever, cholera, tuberculosis and anthrax are caused by bacteria. Okay, so some bacterial disease, the disease caused by bacteria, that one is typhoid. Next, cholera. Next one, tuberculosis. And anthrax. Okay, so this type of disease are caused by viruses. Next, that is many common skin infections are caused by fungus. Okay, so fungus, some common skin infection, some rashes occurs in our body, some ring like structure also form in our neck part. So this type of disease are occurs due to the fungus. Okay, some skin infection are responsible, some skin infections. Okay, next one, protozoa. You know that protozoan microbes similar familiar disease such as malaria and kala-azar. Malaria, you know that plasmodium and kala-azar, that is trypanosoma, sleeping sickness. Okay, and kala-azar occurs due to the leishmania. Okay, so some protozoan disease, okay, so protozoan disease, that is malaria and kala-azar. Okay, so there is just very short type question coming from that parts only, that is the name of the disease and what is their causative agent. Okay, so if I ask you what is the give the example of some bacterial disease, give the example of some disease that occurs by viruses, the protozoan disease, then you can give the example of one or two. Okay, so viruses, that is responsible for the common cold, influenza. Okay, and dengue fever, Aedes. Dengue fever, Aedes, common cold, influenza are occurred due to the viruses. Bacteria, that is typhoid, cholera, tuberculosis and anthrax. Okay, fungal disease, some skin infections, and protozoan disease, that is malaria and kala-azar. Plasmodium and leishmania, they are protozoans. Okay, so this type of disease occurs by different causative agents. So there is so many reasons behind any type of one type of disease, not only a single reason is responsible for any type of illness. Okay, that's why. the first chapter, Babu? Cell chapter, okay? Only the fundamental unit of the life. That only one chapter is your syllabus, okay? I will revise that chapter, don't worry. Just thoroughly read that chapter. From that chapter, very short type question are coming on your exam, okay? Everyone understand? Why it is important that we think of these categories of infectious agent? The answer is that these categories are important factors in deciding what kind of treatment to use. Obviously, you need to know what is the causative agent of this disease, so that's why you can treat them properly, na? If you don't have any idea what is the causative agent and why this type of disease or symptoms occurs in your body, so how could you prevent them, or how could you take the prevention against them? So that's why it is need to know the what type of agents are responsible for which disease, so you can treat them properly and cure very soon, okay? Members of each one of these group, viruses, bacteria and so on, have many biological characteristics in common. Obviously, bacteria, viruses, they are categorized in only one groups because they are first one, they are responsible for harmful diseases, okay? Not only all bacteria and all types of microorganisms are harmful for humans, there is some useful bacteria is also present, but most of them are harmful for the diseases. They are microorganisms, they have the primitive cell structure, so this type of similarity you can found in them, so that's why you can categorize them in only one groups, okay? You can classify any types of animals according to their morphological structure. Morphological structure means the outer structure. When you find out that this similarity are present in those type of animals, so then you can categorize them in a particular groups. Yes, these have this type of characteristics and those animals have same characteristics, then you can categorize them only one groups. Just like that, the bacteria, viruses, they are also microorganisms, they also have the same type of cell structures, they also contain primitive types of cell organelles, so that's why you can categorize them only one groups, okay? All viruses, for example, live inside host cell, whereas bacteria very rarely do. Obviously, all type of viruses, because you know that viruses are living or non-living. It is a just connective link between the living and non-living, because if outside of the host cell they are inactive, but when they enter inside the host cell they become activated. So they need a host cell to multiply them, to survive for them, okay? So that's why the viruses always need a host body, but not bacteria, protozoans always need a host body, but when they affected the host, then they multiply, start to reproduce, then they affected that body, okay? But viruses first need a host cell to survive them, to energize them, then they can affected that body, okay? For example, live host cells, whereas the bacteria very rarely do. Virus, bacteria, fungi multiply very quickly, while worms multiply very slowly in comparison. Taxonomically, all bacteria are closely related to each other than the viruses and vice versa. That's mean many important life processes are similar in bacteria group but are not shared with the viruses group, okay? So the virus, bacteria, they are very small in structure, so when they enter inside the host cell, they multiply themselves very fast, so that's why they affected our bodies very soon. But in the case of the worms that present in our liver, hookworm, tapeworm, anything, they are also present in our body, so they are not multiply so fast, they survive their life very slowly, okay? So that's why they are not affected our body so much in comparison to virus and bacteria, okay? Next, all viruses, for example, live inside the host cell, whereas bacteria rarely do. Viruses and bacteria multiply very quickly, while worms multiply very slowly in comparison. Taxonomically, all bacteria are closely related to each other than to viruses and vice versa. Obviously, they are microorganisms, they affected the host body, they have the primitive type of cell structure, so that's why the bacteria are very similar to viruses than the worms. Worms, they have a particular body structure, you can see them in with your naked eye, but you cannot see, you are not able to see the virus and bacteria in your naked eye. So that's why viruses are close to bacteria, not to worms, okay? Worms are comes under the another groups. This means that many important life processes are similar in bacteria group but not shared with the virus group. As a result, drugs that blocks one of these process, one member of this group is likely be effective against other members of the group, but same drugs will not work against a microbes belonging to a different group. Okay, so they may be similar in some structure, morphological structure, but all type of life events that are not similar to each other of each groups. Okay, not viruses lives are similar to the bacteria. So that's why, and same type of bacteria also, there is so many bacteria present, Staphylococcus, Spirulina, so many bacteria and microorganisms are present, but they are not affected by the same type of drugs. They also have different life, they also can multiply themselves in different way. So that's why different drugs are needed to control themselves. Not similar drugs can control all type of bacteria, okay, or similar drugs cannot control all types of viruses. They are also different with each other in some characteristics. So that's why they need different drugs to prevent themselves. Okay, we all are human, but when we all have, but we are looking different, and some characteristics are unique to in us, some characteristics are unique to you. So that's why we are different from each other, but we all are made by cells, blood, any type of organ systems, all are same, but we are looking different with each other. Your immunity power, your circulation system, your health obviously totally depend from each other due to your lifestyle. How could you live? So that's why if you live in a unhealthy environment, you lost your immunity, you can gain, you can lose your weight day by day. So similarly, virus and bacteria, they are also similar. They are also in the same group, so that's why they are similar. But when their prevention is coming, in the case of the prevention, they need different drugs to control themselves due to different lifestyle. Okay. So virus and that is not shared with the group are not shared with the viruses. Okay. So the important life processes mean that needed respiration, feeding habit, anything that is need to survive. So life processes are different from each bacteria from another bacteria. So that's why they need different drugs to control themselves. As a result, drugs that block one of the life processes of one member of the group is likely effective against many other member of the, but same drugs will not work against a microbes belongs to a different group. Okay. So some drugs affected on the some groups, but these types of drugs are not affected on the another groups. They are totally different from each group. The same type of drugs are not affected of each other of the same group. So how could they affected on the another groups? They are totally different from each other. Okay. As an example, let us take antibiotics. They commonly block biochemical pathways important for bacteria. So what is the functions of the antibiotics? They block the biochemical process. They do some biochemical process that is inside your body. That's why they can survive. Biochemical process that is related to their life processes. They need that to intake food, to survive, to respire. So this type of biochemical processes in our body, so many biochemical processes occurs, digestion, any types of circulation. So this type of biochemical process are also occurs in our body. Same type in the bacterian body, the different types of biochemical process occurs, and if you can stop these biochemical processes, because they can multiply themselves very fast due to these biochemical processes. When you stop this type of biochemical processes, they do not exist in your body. Okay. So many bacteria, for example, make a cell wall to protect themselves. The antibiotic penicillin blocks the bacterial processes that build the cell wall. As a result, the growing bacteria become unable to make cell walls and die easily. So why the antibiotics are affected to the bacteria, or why the bacteria can kill by the antibiotics? Due to the destruction of the cell wall. That is also in our body. Plasma membrane also made by some biochemical processes. Okay. So same type in the bacterial wall, when bacteria enter inside your body, they form a cell wall. So inside your body there is some enzymes also present, there is some biochemical materials also present that can digest the bacteria easily. So So that's why when the bacteria enter inside your body, they form a cell wall, and they never comes direct contact to this type of enzymes, so they can protect themselves by made the cell wall. But when you take the antibiotics just like penicillins, they destroy, they never they stop to forming this type of cell wall, okay. They prevent in forming this type of cell wall. So if there is no cell wall is formed, bacteria also can affected by this type of antibiotics and they can kill, okay. So how penicillin is important to kill the bacteria? So that's why they helps to form, they prevent to form the cell wall, okay. Why does penicillin is important to kill the bacteria, okay. So this is an important question. Why you can use an antibiotics to destroy the bacteria due to the destruction of the cell wall. It helps to prevent in the formation of the cell wall. So that's why the bacteria can kill by the antibiotics, okay. These antibiotics not work on the viruses and other groups, okay. So this is the difference. The same type of drugs cannot work on the same groups or another groups, okay. As a result, the growing bacteria become unable to make cell walls and die easily. Human cells do not make a cell wall anyway, so penicillin cannot have such effects on us. So you know that in our body, human cells body, there is no cell wall formation occurs. So that's why penicillin effects only on the cell wall that present only in bacteria. So when you take the antibiotics penicillin, it just affected the cell wall of bacteria. There is no affection occurs in your body because there is the absence of the cell wall, okay. If there is cell wall present in our body, we also will be affected by this type of antibiotics. Penicillin will have this effect on bacteria, thus such processes make cell wall. Similarly, many antibiotics work against many specialist bacteria rather than simplify working against one. But viruses do not use this pathway at all. This is the reason why antibiotics do not work against viral infection. So why does the antibiotics works on bacteria but not on viruses? This is most important question from these chapters. Why the antibiotics are affected only on bacterial cell but not on viruses cell? Because there is no cell wall presence in the virus's body, so the antibiotics cannot affect the viruses, but the cell wall present in the bacterian body, so that's why they can helps to prevent the forming cell wall. The bacteria can easily die, okay. This is the answer. Everything will be discussed on your students from, and school also will give the notice in your website. Just check that and be updated. You can get your all answers, okay. Don't worry about the exam. Just read the first chapter, that is the cell chapter, okay. Short type questions are coming from this chapter. There is no big long questions coming from that chapter, okay. Be updated with your website. Check it regularly. If we have a common cold, taking antibiotic does not reduce the severity or duration of the disease. However, you also get a bacterial infection along with the viral cold. Taking antibiotics will help. Even then, the antibiotics will work only against the bacterial part of the infection, not the viral infection. So this is the question, why the antibiotics works on the bacterial cells only, not on the viral cell. There is because due to the absence of the cell wall in the viruses, antibiotics cannot affect that area, but the cell wall present in the bacteria, so that's why it can affect the bacteria very easily, okay. Means of spread. So how does it spread? Spread means how it is affected one person to another person, okay. So means of spread, how do infectious disease spread? Many microbial agents can commonly move from an affected person to someone else in variety of ways. In other words, they can be communicated, so they are called communicable disease, okay. So means of spreads, or what is communicable disease? Because one affected person, it is spread from one affected person to another healthy person, that is means spread. Okay, spread means it communicate from an affected person to a healthy person. Okay, affected person to a healthy person. So this is the means of the affected or communicable disease. You know that, you have some idea what is communicable disease, that is affected or some positive agents. Positive agents means these types of virus, bacteria, protozoans, all are responsible for communication this disease from a effective person to non-effective person or a healthy person, you can say that, that is spread. Such disease causing microbes can spread through the air. This occurs through the little droplets thrown out by an infected person who sneezes or coughs. Some standing close can breathe these droplets and microbes get chance to start a new infection. Example, some disease through the air, common cold, pneumonia, tuberculosis. You know that there is some affected there is some affected disease are also occur, that is occurs due to the some positive agents, air, wind, cholera, that is obviously caused due to the different unclean water. When you drink unclean water, you can affected by this type of disease. Pneumonia, influenza, they are affected by air or some person when they cough, sneeze in front of another healthy person, they intake as oxygen, with the oxygens or with the breath, so they also be affected. So this is the way of the affection or the spread of the disease from one person to another person. Affected person must be present or any positive agent must be present to spread the disease. Okay. Next one, we all have had the experience of sitting near some suffering from a cold and catching it ourselves. Obviously, the more crowded our living conditions are, the more likely it is airborne disease will spread. So many crowds nowadays, you can see that COVID-19, it can spread from one person to one person when gathering the people, crowds is occurs, but when there is lockdown, there is no spreading occurs. So same time when crowd occurred, when the affected pupils are gathered together with the healthy people, the airborne disease, they can spread from one person to another person by cough, sneeze, anything. Okay. Disease can be also be spread through water. This occurs if excreta of some suffering from an infectious gut disease such as cholera get mixed with drinking water of the people living nearby. The cholera causing microbes will enter a healthy person through the water they drink and cause disease in them. Such diseases are much more likely to spread in the absence of safe supplies of drinking water. So you know that cholera, one type of waterborne disease, when there is some affected persons are present, the some excreta, their fecal matter, this type of viruses, bacteria are present, and this bacteria enter into your drinking water. When you take this type of drinking water without purifying, then these bacteria enter inside your body and you will be also affected, but you can prevent this by drinking safe water. So always drink safe water, stay away from the affected pupil. Okay, so you can prevent yourself very easily. The sexual act is one of the closest physical contact of two people can have with each other. Not surprisingly, microbial infections such as syphilis and AIDS are transmitted by sexual contact from one person to other. So some sexual contraction disease name syphilis, AIDS. Okay, when one affected person comes in contact with another person, this type of disease enter inside your body. Okay, some airborne disease, some waterborne disease, some sexually contacted disease. Okay. just no need to read thoroughly, just give some examples and read this. Some airborne disease, some waterborne disease, some sexually contacted disease, okay, and what is the responsible, what is the causative agent of this type of disease, you can remember that. However, such sexually transmitted diseases are not spread by causal physically contact. Causal physically contacts include handshakes or hugs, sports like wrestling by one another, ways in which we touch easily others socially. Other than the sexual contact, the virus causing AIDS can also spread through blood to blood contact, infected pupil from infected mother to her baby during pregnancy or through the breastfeeding, okay. So, sexually contacted disease not only occurs during when the two people comes in contact with each other, but it also can occurs by if affected pupil in the body, in the mother's body. If mother is affected, the baby also will be affected by the mother's blood, okay. When the baby feeding breast milk, this type of disease can spread, but there is no physical contact. You can handshake any, wrestling any person, hug any person, there is no chance to spreading sexually contact disease, okay. This type of physical contact never spread the sexually contact disease. Sexually contact disease, there is related to the physically, okay. That's not only means that all two persons are come in contact with each other, but this type in this type they can also spread by the blood to blood. So that's why you need to take a clean blade when you go to the salon, okay. So an infected disease, this type of you can prevent by this type of taking prevention, you can prevent this disease. Never use the reuse injection series, reuse blade. If you avoid this type of things, you can prevent yourselves. But from the mother's body, sometimes it can come, baby come in contact with this type of disease by the breastfeeding also, okay. We live in an environment that is full of many other creatures apart from us. It is inevitable many diseases will be transmitted by the other animals. These animals carry infecting agents from a sick person to another potential host. These animals thus intermediated and called vectors, okay. So what is the vectors? When animals are the causative agent or animals are the host cell inside which the viruses or bacteria can survive, okay, they are called vectors, okay. So these animals thus intermediates. So intermediated animals which is responsible for disease, that is called vectors, okay. There is so many vectors are present, you know that pork meat, there is some flukeworm, river worms are present, okay. You know that bird flu, that is we can take by that comes from the chicken, okay. When we take this type of meat, this type of viruses or bacteria entered inside our body. So there is some animals are also responsible for infection, okay, they are called vectors. The mosquito flies, they are also vectors, okay, carrier, because inside them the malarian viruses, plasmodium protozoans are present in the mosquito. So mosquito is a vector, okay. So the commonest vectors, we all know that mosquitoes, in many species mosquitoes, the females are need highly nutritive food in the form of blood in order to able lay mature eggs. Mosquitoes feed on many warm blooded animals including us. In this way they can transfer disease from person to person. So there is nothing more than that. What is the causative agents of the disease? That's maybe biotic, that's maybe abiotic. Biotics mean virus, bacteria, fungus are present. Abiotic means water, airs are present, okay. And which disease are, which causative agents are responsible for which type of disease, and give the example of some causative agents of this disease and name of the some disease that is occurs by the virus, bacteria and fungus, and what the give the example of some vectors. And this is the, so this is today, that is up to. Thank you for today, and next part we will discuss on our next video. Just go through the first chapter, read this very carefully. Thank you so much everyone.